While you can get great results using a crop sensor camera, a camera with a full-frame sensor will generally make it easier to work in uncontrolled lighting conditions, get more bokeh or background blur, and capture cleaner images with more dynamic range. To help you find the perfect model, we've compiled a list of the 5 best full-frame mirrorless cameras. Be sure to check link in the description below for prices and additional details. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon for the latest tech updates. Now, without further ado, let's dive in. Number 5. Canon EOS RP. Budget is a relative term here, as the Canon EOS RP will still cost you a fair amount. But as far as full-frame cameras go, there isn't a more affordable option than this unless you buy a camera used, which may be the best route if you're trying to save money. With a decent full-frame sensor packed into a highly portable body, the RP has much to offer, from its impressive autofocus system to its excellent ergonomics and intuitive controls. While it's clear Canon skimped on things like build quality and burst rate compared to pricier models, full-frame image quality has never been more accessible. Like the Nikon Z5, it isn't the best option for video shooters. With an even worse 1.74x crop and less impressive video quality, and it doesn't have IBIS to help reduce camera shake. However, if your main focus is photography, the RP offers lots of value, simplicity, and portability, especially for those who want to upgrade from APS-C or jump straight into full-frame photography without breaking the bank. Number 4. Sony A7C II. Full-frame cameras aren't known for their portability, but compact models like the Sony A7C II prove that you don't need to give up portability to get full-frame image quality. With one of the most compact full-frame bodies on the market, the A7C II is a great choice for high-quality travel, photography, and street photos. It uses the same sensor as the Sony A7 IV we mentioned above, so it captures excellent image quality and has a fantastic autofocus system. But there are some trade-offs with a more portable camera, most notably its small viewfinder and cramped ergonomics, especially compared to a camera like the Canon EOS R6 Mark II. Still, if you're looking for full-frame image quality in a compact camera body, it doesn't get much better than the A7C II. If you're on a tighter budget, the original Sony A7C is a great deal, though its internal video recording specs aren't as advanced as its successors. But if you're primarily a photographer, you won't be disappointed. The biggest downside here is lens selection. While Canon has finally started to allow third-party lenses for its RF mount, there's good reason to opt for the similarly priced Sony A7 IV, namely the plethora of E-mount lenses to choose from. You really can't go wrong with either of these cameras, so it'll mostly come down to personal preference. The Canon has faster burst shooting, better ergonomics, and more effective IBIS, while the Sony has a higher resolution sensor, a more established lens ecosystem, and slightly better autofocus implementation. Number 3. Panasonic Lumix S5 II. The Panasonic Lumix S5 II is the best full-frame camera we've tested for video work. It's a very solid hybrid camera, but it really shines because of its video features, especially at this price point, with internal 10-bit 4.2.2 color and 4K 60 FPS recording, albeit with an APS-C crop, along with nice touches for videographers like vector scope functionality and a full-size HDMI port. It's a very powerful option for videographers. With this model, Panasonic also improved one of the biggest drawbacks of the original Panasonic Lumix S5. The S5 II is the first Lumix camera to feature a phase detection autofocus system. While it still doesn't quite match up to competitors like Sony or Canon in implementation, it's a step in the right direction and rounds out a camera that offers a lot of value for its price. However, if you're not as fussed about AF, the OG S5 is a steal of a camera for those on a tighter budget, is a great deal, though its internal video recording specs aren't as advanced as its successors. But if you're primarily a photographer, you won't be disappointed. It's a very solid hybrid camera, but it really shines because of its video features, especially at this price point. With internal 10-bit 4.2.2 color and 4K 60 FPS recording, albeit with an APS-C crop. Along with nice touches for videographers like vector scope, functionality, and a full-size HDMI port, it's a very powerful option for videographers. Number 2. Nikon ZF. The Nikon ZF is easily one of the best-looking full-frame cameras on the market. With a vintage-style design inspired by classic Nikon SLRs, its relatively portable body makes it easy to take on the go, and its dedicated shutter speed and ISO dials let you quickly adjust settings. The ergonomics can take some getting used to, but if you're a fan of the retro aesthetic, you won't be disappointed. Aside from a well-designed exterior, the camera also has the guts to back it up. With the same backside illuminated sensor found in the Nikon Z6 II, the ZF can capture stunning images with plenty of dynamic, range, and great low-light noise management. This model also features Nikon's new and improved autofocus system, which does an impressive job of keeping moving subjects in focus. That said, its video features, while a step up from older Nikon Z cameras, still fall behind higher-end hybrid cameras like the Canon EOS R6 Mark II and Panasonic Lumix S5 II. With a vintage-style design inspired by classic Nikon SLRs, its relatively portable body makes it easy to take on the go, and its dedicated shutter speed and ISO dials let you quickly adjust settings. The ergonomics can take some getting used to, but if you're a fan of the retro aesthetic, you won't be disappointed. Number 1. Nikon Z5. The entry-level Nikon Z5 is a fantastic deal for those dipping their toe into full frame for the first time. It sits below the higher-end Nikon Z6 II in Nikon's mirrorless lineup and shares a lot of features with that model. The cameras look and feel similar, with weather-sealed bodies, excellent ergonomics, high-res viewfinders, tilting screens, and in-body image stabilization. However, one of the few drawbacks of the Z5 is its slow max burst rate. If you don't need very quick burst shooting, though, the Z5 is an excellent full-frame photography camera that you can often find for a steal. If you're a hybrid shooter or interested in video, be aware that the Z5 can only shoot 4K footage with a severe crop and offers fewer frame rate and recording options than a higher-end camera like the Panasonic Lumix S5 II. But if you can live without adequate 4K recording, it captures excellent image quality and has a great battery life. While some of these things might be deal breakers, this is still a relatively affordable full-frame camera with a lot to offer for photographers. Be aware that the Z5 can only shoot 4K footage with a severe crop and offers fewer frame rate and recording options than a higher-end camera like the Panasonic Lumix S5 II. But if you can live without adequate 4K recording, it captures excellent image quality and has a great battery life.